So this is with the 32 hertz. Look how much air and flexing the shirt is doing. Look at the vibration on the vehicle. Look at the shirt. Look at the sound wave on the shirt. That's with the 32 hertz. This is the same 32 hertz and my vehicle is outside right there. Look at what the 32 hertz will be doing. Look at, can you guys hear the door shaking? Look at this. It's actually vibrating and the chair is actually vibrating as well. Ooh, this is with the 32 hertz right here. Look at that. A 40 hertz tune box versus a 32 hertz tune box. When it comes to a specific tuning on your enclosure, everybody have their own preference. So I want to know y'all preference on what y'all prefer to tune your box at, and I will let you guys know my preference at the end of this video. So let's jump right into the video. Blah. So when it comes to your box being tuned at 32 hertz, you guys will be able to produce the lower frequencies a lot more easier compared to the 42 hertz box tuning. And what the 32 hertz box tuning will also do is that it will be pushing out a lot of air out of your subwoofer enclosure port. You guys will be easily rattling other people's vehicles. You guys will be flexing windows on your house and other building. Your bass will be traveling very far away, so people will be hearing you from miles away before you even reach by them. So with your box being tuned at 32 hertz, it will be more on the sound quality side with a mix of loudness. Now with your box being tuned at 40 hertz now, you won't be able to produce the lower frequencies with your box being tuned at 40 hertz. But on the higher frequencies, it will be the sweet spot for that subwoofer enclosure. And what high bass does, it won't be pushing out a lot of air out of your subwoofer enclosure, but it will be sounding super loud. So with your box being tuned at 40 hertz, your bass will be sounding super loud and you guys will be feeling that bass pounding in your chest. But when it comes to your box being tuned at 32 hertz now, you guys will have to consider some factors to be able to produce the lower frequencies for your subwoofers. And some of those factors are to get a custom enclosure that's tuned at 32 hertz. With getting a custom enclosure now that's tuned at 32 hertz, you guys will be able to produce the lower frequencies that's around the 32 hertz very easily. But let's say that now you guys have a box that is way too small for your subwoofers and your box tuning is at 32 hertz. What will happen is that on the lower frequencies won't be playing in your subwoofers. It will just play the higher frequencies more better than the lower frequencies. And that's a number one tip I would highly recommend for y'all to do, is to get a custom enclosure, because when it comes to your bass output, the enclosure is what does most of the work. It does almost 80 to 85% of the work when it comes to your bass performance. Now the factors to produce the right bass with your box being tuned at 40 hertz is that you guys can use almost any enclosure to produce that higher frequency. You guys can use a prefab box, and with your box being tuned at 40 hertz, it will still sound very well when it comes to your bass performance. Another popular type of enclosure people be using in a cardio game is a box that's called a horn enclosure. What that horn enclosure is designed for is to play the higher frequencies very well. So with that horn enclosure, on the higher frequencies, the bass will be hitting very hard. It's not gonna be able to play the lower frequencies very well, but on the higher frequencies, it will be hitting super hard. So if you guys are considering on tuning your box on the higher frequencies at 40 hertz or higher, I would recommend for y'all to get that horn enclosure. And when it comes to your box being tuned at a lower frequency now, at 32 hertz or around that hertz range, I would consider y'all to get a custom ported enclosure for your subwoofers. So I'll be showing you guys the differences between your box being tuned at 32 hertz and your box being tuned at 40 hertz. I'll be playing some music tests, some frequency tests to show you all the differences between both of them. So we'll be starting off with the 32 hertz test zone here on my subwoofers. I'll be doing a couple tests to show you all the difference between the 32 hertz and the 40 hertz. So this is with the 32 hertz. Look how much air and flexing the shirt is doing. Look at the vibration on the vehicle. Look at the shirt. Look at the sound wave on the shirt. That's with the 32 hertz. the vibration on the vehicle, bro. So this is now how much air is pushing out of the subwoofer enclosure with the 32 hertz. Stand up. Ooh, that's too much. Ooh, super windy, bro. That's too much. That's too much air, bro. Ooh. That's too much air, bro. That's the 32 hertz right there. Look at that. That's too much, bro. Now I'm inside my house now. This is the same 32 hertz and my vehicle is outside right there. Look what the 32 hertz will be doing. Look at, can you guys hear the door shaking? Look at this. It's actually vibrating and the chair is actually vibrating as well. Ooh, this is with the 32 hertz right here. Look at that. Car is right there. So that is with the 32 hertz test tone. With the 32 hertz, it will be shaking and vibrating everything as I explained in the video. You'll easily vibrate the windows, flex everything inside the house, even your neighbor house, the vehicle next to you. That's with the low tuning, the low bass. So this is with the 40 hertz right here. It sounded super loud. Let me close this trunk right here. Look at the shirt vibrating. It's not much flexing as the lower hertz, but it's sounding super loud. Okay, so this is how much air is pushing out of the subwoofer enclosure on the 40 hertz test tone. As you guys can see, it's not much as the 32 hertz, but it's still performing very well and it sounded super loud as well. That's with the 40 hertz right here. So right there you guys could have actually tell the difference from the 40 hertz and the 32 hertz right there. I explained everything in the video and I showed you all the performance between both of them. With the 32 hertz, it will be getting more windy, basically causing an earthquake around you. So it will just be vibrating everything around you, shaking everything. But with the 40 hertz now, it will just sound super loud, but it won't be doing as much damage as the 32 hertz. So for my preference, I prefer to tune my box at the lower hertz, anywhere from 28 hertz to 33 hertz. That's the sweet spot for me. I love low bass. I will never change from low bass. And I want to know which box tuning y'all prefer to tune y'all enclosures at. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video. Be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe if you guys are new, and I will be catching y'all in my next video. I love y'all guys. Have a great day y'all. Peace.